All right, welcome back to another episode of the DGN Sports Show. It's our same three every week: me, Garrett, Adam. I think we had a decent week. Maybe not Garrett. I can't remember. I think he did better in the NFL than college, but
started out hot as a pistol, and then the NFL picks came around, and it just smacked me right in the face.
yeah, I think Adam was 15 of 19 at one point, and then
In college, I think I picked like 24 picks, and I got all but 5 of them right, and then the NFL came, and the great equalizer in gambling.
it always brings you back down to earth. This first game, let's go ahead and knock this college section out. Louisville, Florida State. I think it was a Friday night game.
Yeah.
The final score of that was 31-35 Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
Closed it over under. The over under closed at 57. 2.5 was the spread. I think I took Florida State and the under, and I did not hit the under. But 1-for-1 to start the week's not too bad.
Yeah, I had the same. I had just too many points.
Yeah, I think Adam was the only one who took over.
Still sucks. So.
Yeah, Louisville I don't know how that's going to turn out for them.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that this game was as close as it was. Florida State beat LSU, which I guess kind of gives us a hint at how LSU is this year. But Louisville actually had the lead going into halftime. Kind of scared me a little bit, but I couldn't take the under on this. It's two ACC teams. They don't know what defense is, so I took the Seminoles and the over and hit both.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to be saying Adam was right in both of these.
It'll come around, I promise.
At least the first.
Let's get to NFL. Let's get to the
It'll
NFL.
come around, I promise.
All right, Miami of Ohio and Cincinnati. That game was a 22-point Cincinnati favor, and the over-under closed at 50.5. I had Miami of Ohio and the under. And the game ended 38-17, so they...
My lock of the week at Miami of Ohio plus 22 when they lost by 21. It hit, but it was close. Also, the over/under ended at what, 50.5?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Miami might have got some garbage time points in that game, and it kind of saved me on both ends right there. But I got lucky on that one too. These two games started out kind of earlier in the day, and I felt like it was going to be a good day on Saturday.
Yeah, I just now pulled up the other side of that sheet, and it is green for the first 4 games on Adam. That's impressive. South Carolina.
We get to the bottom.
Yeah, I could see as we get further down.
It goes from spring to fall real quick, but I promise.
South Carolina, Georgia was 24.5 favored to Georgia, and the over/under closed at 55.5. This game ended up 48-7.
I'm an idiot. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, I understood why you thought they might cover 24.5. That's not a bad pick.
Well, Georgia's got to play. Georgia can't play perfection every single game.
No.
So one of these games is when they're actually going to mess up and have a not so good team cover a stupid point spread. That's going to be a game where I'm just like fully believing in Georgia. Like, you know what? I keep losing on this. So, oh well, Georgia's the best in the country.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. We all took the under, which hit, and Garrett would be the only one. Sorry, Garrett.
Part of it.
You guys think Georgia's just that far ahead of everybody else, or you think South Carolina's just terrible?
I think Georgia's in another stratosphere.
Yeah. I do too. I don't think South Carolina's awful.
No, I feel like
Arkansas did kind of handle them, but I didn't see that coming. I thought that they would, and Georgia's looking like last year's Georgia, where they're just going to score a bunch of points, and they're going to by the end of the year, when they make it to the SEC championship game, they're going to have 40 less than 40 total points scored on them all year.
Yeah.
Like 2 touchdowns.
So I think, let's see, I'd have to do some quick math, but Georgia's only had 10 points so far, if that tells you anything, in 3 games.
1 touchdown.
That's the only one in that game.
And it was to South Carolina at like the buzzer.
Yeah. All right. Nebraska, Oklahoma. It was 11-point Oklahoma favor. Closed at 66 for the over/under. Ended up being 49-14.
Easiest pick of the week.
Yeah, we all three had this one.
Easiest pick of the week. Yeah. Scott Frost got fired last week. They're playing the number 6 team at the number 16's place. 11-point spread's a joke. Easiest pick of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think Oklahoma's?
No.
No, you still don't think?
Not even gonna let you finish. No.
I'm not going to say they're going to make it to the playoffs, but do you think they're just going to roll everybody like that?
Okay.
That's kind of what I was going to ask.
Can you name one player on Oklahoma's team?
Absolutely not. I don't keep up with their
You
players.
name their coach.
No, not now.
If they had somebody worth it, we would have heard about them by now. Now, I'm not saying they're a bad team at all.
Garrett, I feel like Garrett might be able to name their coach, but I don't know.
I should know that.
Well, now that Lincoln Riley left and went to Oklahoma, they had somebody.
USC.
They got somebody. Yeah, left Oklahoma, went to USC. I couldn't tell you a player. Couldn't tell you.
No.
You know.
I think they're going to ride on the success of Lincoln Riley for a couple years, and then they might start declining. Not drastically, but they will lose some of their.
Was it the Big 12?
Yeah.
That conference is terrible.
Yeah.
Wait, when are they coming over?
2025?
Yeah.
Maybe earlier. As early as the year after this coming one. Not
Yeah.
2 years from now is the earliest.
Because they can rework contract after 2 years and go ahead and
I
bring
think
them.
that would be 2024. Yeah, it's all going to. I think they're working out like the TV stuff. You know, like how much like I think in like 2 years, ESPN, CBS's contracts renew for television rights, and they're trying to figure that out before they come over or not. I mean, they're definitely coming over, but before they come over that year, the one after.
All right. Auburn, Penn State. This game was a 3-point Penn State favor, and the over-under closed at 47.5. Ended up being 41-12.
Manhandled them.
Auburn looks rough. Penn State also looks really good, but I mean it's Big Ten. They might play Ohio State, or is Ohio State and them in the same side?
Yeah.
Are they? No, on like interconference or
East and West. I feel like I always watch them play. But I don't know.
I'm curious myself.
I think Penn State might be on the opposite side. But I'm not
They
totally
are
sure.
both in the East.
Ah.
Yeah.
I wish Auburn had some sort of defense and that under would have hit and I would have kept going on with my winning streak, but that was the first one I got wrong. That over under was the first one I got wrong all day.
Yeah, we all took Penn State.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, score surprised me. I did not think it would be that. I didn't think Auburn would just let it get out of hand like that, but I didn't see him scoring. I did not see Auburn giving up 41 points either. So,
No, I thought at least being an SEC school, they might have some kind of defense, not a non-existent one, to let Penn State score 41.
especially with it being at Auburn, you know.
Yeah. I think I was the only one there that hit both. I can't remember what I said and why I took that over.
I think you might just stand to be different.
Maybe, but sometimes that works out. All right, Northern Illinois Vandy, plus 2.5 or minus 2.5 to Northern Illinois, and the over/under closed at 58.5. Vandy wins by 10, 38-28. And we should have made this our big lock because we all three said Vandy money line, all three said under.
Yeah, 9 for 9 on that one across the podcast. And I'll be honest with you, if Northern Illinois' quarterback doesn't go down, we lose every bit of it, all of it.
They were rolling against
Yeah,
Vandy. And
yeah,
then
they were up. They were up
I turned it
14
off.
points. Yeah, they were up
Yeah.
14 points late in the game, and you know, which I mean, I'm not. That's terrible that he got injured, but with them coming into Commonwealth, Kroger after during this week, you know, that makes that spread for UK this week a little bit more interesting. If I think it was 26, if that quarterback was still in play, I would have hammered Northern Illinois to cover that. But that's a terrible thing that he got injured, but it saved our picks.
Yeah. We need to be nice if we could get some kind of random sponsor, and every time we agree on something, make that our pick of the week or some shit. I think that would be cool. Maybe that sausage company that your brother got.
Wumbler
sausage or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is.
Let's move on. Oregon BYU. Oregon was 3.5, and the over/under closed at 58. Oregon wins 41-20. And this looks like it might be our worst pick of the week. Maybe. It looks like me and Adam hit overs, but we all had BYU. And I think we picked BYU after watching the BYU Baylor game.
Yeah.
That was
BYU's defense just was non-existent. From the first 2 weeks we saw BYU, and they're holding Baylor to I think they went to overtime, but I mean through 4 quarters they held them to 14 points or something like that. I mean, and then you give up 40 to Bo Nix, who now grown to hate after week 1. It's that sucks.
I heard his name called a lot on Saturday when I watched. I didn't get to watch that game, I don't think, but when I watched the recap, it was the Bo Nix show. Apparently, he may have finally had his game. Bo Nix for Heisman.
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. You know, the last game we all hit 3 for 3. This game we all should have. We almost lost all 9 of these. Also, this really puts how good Georgia is into perspective for me. I guess there's still an argument for first game of the year, and Oregon just kind of shit the bed. But God, Georgia, everything's going right for them.
Yeah, absolutely. LSU, Mississippi State. Mississippi State was a 2-point favorite. Over/under closed at 53.5. LSU wins 31-16. Nah, I did not see that coming.
They scored rather late.
It was closer. Yeah, it was closer. Really, Mississippi State led most of the game.
Yeah, I just didn't think LSU was going to be that good this year. Now I know they can. They fluctuate so much. You never know. They come out look like a world beaters, and then they don't look good at all. Another year, it's just that's why I took Mississippi State, because I don't know until LSU becomes a full-time dynasty again that I can pick them. So that's why I took Mississippi State.
I did take LSU money line right there, but you know, the line for money line was plus 110. I mean, it was damn near an even pick.
Yeah.
In my mind, if you're picking LSU, you got to pick the money line anyway. Just
UTSA, Texas. Texas was a 12.5-point favorite. The over/under closed at 61, and Texas closed out 41-20 to end the game. Did we all miss this?
Yeah, I kind of hyped us up on this one. I'll take the blame. That's my fault. I led off quick and hot, saying UTSA had a shot to win the ball game, and might have been slightly convincing with my argument. I really thought that Texas was going to have a hangover game after playing Alabama so well, and they did not. They played UTSA well. It was tied at halftime. but I guess Texas made some adjustments and just kind of ran away with it.
Yeah, better teams usually do that in the second half, especially in closer games. But I think I said that their backup at Texas was good, but I didn't think they were going to go win by 21 against a UTSA team that we've talked a lot about.
At UTSA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This next game was awesome to watch. Appalachian State is packing a horseshoe up their hind end because they should not have won, but they did. They were a 12.5-point favorite. It was 52.5 over under at close, and they won 32-28 on a Hail Mary that was tipped backwards.
That busted the under for you guys.
Yeah.
I won the over by half a point.
If I lose a bet like that, I'm okay with it because that was awesome. And the App State story this year is just going to keep getting better. So
it'd be more awesome if they hadn't covered like 20 and 30-point spreads the last 3 years against Troy, and then go out there and should lose the game outright.
Yeah.
I mean that sucks. But yeah.
And on the pick show, I said when I was talking about them, I said I see them. Troy they've not really impressed with anybody they've really played, but Appalachian State they just beat Texas A&M. Awesome, they should go in there and wear them out. But I said it could be a trap game, but I'm not going to let that talk me out of it.
Yeah.
And it totally, absolutely was a trap game.
Yep. Kentucky and Youngstown. Kentucky was a 27.5-point favorite. That line didn't move at all, so it looked like it was bet both ways evenly throughout the week. And it closed at 52.5. So a lot of people obviously splitting that one if those lines didn't move. 31-0. Kentucky's defense is legit, boys. In my opinion, I think they're legit. And we talked about those linebackers, and the entire game it just looked like even when another team gets a good pass off, we have 6 guys on the ball instantly.
Yeah, I mean they're just complete ball hawks. Like whenever, it doesn't matter where the ball's going. It just always seems like you're going to see 6 or blue or white, depending on what they're wearing. Helmets just rushing right towards it.
Yeah,
like it's scary, man. And I know it's Youngstown State, but still, like a shutout, which we haven't done in how many years?
2009.
2009.
I mean, there you go. Like that's impressive.
That's the first shutout at home since like '96.
Wow.
Dang.
I want to say the shutout in 2009 was at Vandy, but I'm not entirely sure because I can't imagine us playing anybody else away that we would have been able to do that to.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of good. Well, there's a lot of bad non-conference teams.
Those are all home.
Commonwealth and Kroger Field, and the fact that we've only, shut them out at home since '96. You said that's insane.
Offensive line still didn't look too good. We had a lot of rush passes, a lot of sacks. That's still got to get shaped up. But I mean, offense goes out and scores when they need to, and then defense just carries us. I think.
I believe that Scangarello in this game specifically, and maybe next game, it depends on if that quarterback plays or not. But I think he does not run his best plays against people he doesn't think he needs to. So I think that the reason we only scored 31, we had 2-3 turnovers, which is concerning. But I think he just went out there and did mundane, everyday practice plays, power running, just random passing plays that they go over and over again. Nothing that's really no home run plays basically.
Yeah, just your bread and butter, and don't show your tricks.
Yeah, I think he's trying not to show Ole Miss too much.
Yeah, I listened to another show yesterday and some this morning, and they were talking about how, and these are guys media that actually talks to coaches and stuff weekly, and he said that they have not shown half of their playbook yet.
Yeah.
And
dude, in the Florida game, Scangarello really impressed me.
Yeah.
But go on, sorry.
Oh yeah, he did me too. But I think after this weekend, I think it'll be the same thing. But when we get to Ole Miss, I think you're going to see that playbook wide open.
Yeah. because Lane Kiffin's for sure going to have his wide open.
Yeah, he's going to have trick plays. He's going to be all doing everything.
Yeah. The fact that our defense, I think our defense is as good as it's been. It's probably at least as good as the Josh Allen year. The only caveat to that would be our secondary and Josh Allen. Obviously, if you have
there's no one player that good on our defense.
the consensus defensive player of the year, that's a home run hit that you're not going to have every year. But man, I didn't see a lot of weaknesses. I know they almost scored once, but I think we're also not acknowledging the possibility that they probably played down to their competition a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we can do much better if we need to, but that's all we need to get the W on Saturday. So let's hope that keeps rolling.
Yes, sir.
Shout out Devin Johnson again, Peaburg native who.
What are you in with? Hang on, let's look up his stat. Can we do that real quick?
Yeah, look that up. Because I'm kind of curious on how he ended the game.
And I would like to, give him a little bit of a shout out if he hit some, a couple tackles, more than we ever got,
Yeah,
so.
He's definitely got more in college football than I'll ever have.
Yeah, we go on. You just kind of intro into the NFL part, and I'll look this up real quick.
Okay. What do we have? 6 games in the NFL. First one was Ravens Dolphins. I can't. So we picked this at Ravens or Dolphins 3.5, right?
We picked Dolphins 3.5. Then there was some confusion on the line. It might have been Baltimore 3.5, but either way, I think we all took the Dolphins, correct?
I'm pretty sure we did. Let me see.
If we all took the Dolphins, then it covered.
No, I took Ravens money line.
Okay.
Because I thought the Ravens were going to win that game. Adam took Ravens also. So Garrett, the only one that hit here was
really you.
No,
it was the wildest.
All right. So Devin Johnson had 2 tackles and a tackle for loss.
Well, that's not terrible against a big FBS
the
school.
Eighth ranked team in the country.
Yeah.
I'd be pumped about that.
Shout out him.
We've come to the part of the picks that I really don't even want to be here for. It's a whole lot of red down there.
Yeah, this is where Adam comes back to reality. He called me. I was on my way to someone's house to watch the late games and hang out, and he was like, "I'm 15 for 19. I'm on fire." And then Sunday he woke up with a smack of reality in his face. Ravens won this game 42-38.
So, no. Those are backwards. Dolphins won 42-38.
Okay, so okay. I was looking at that.
The statistician who did that.
Huh. And he says we picked the lines wrong, Garrett.
Hey, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, the Ravens gave up a lot in the fourth quarter in that game.
28.
They were up 21. Yeah, they were up 21.
Yeah, and they gave up 4 touchdowns in one quarter. You are up 35-14 going into the fourth quarter, and you lose in regulation. That's bad. But also good if you had Miami minus 3.5.
Yeah, Garrett was the only one who took anybody in that.
Shout out Jalen Waddle. Shout out Tyreek Hill. I mean, Tua played a hell of a game. That's all you can say.
Tua surprised me. I did not think, I just assumed he was not an NFL quarterback, and he's looking pretty good.
I had no reason to think that he was, NFL caliber the past couple of years, but he threw for 469, 6 touchdowns, tied 2 different Dolphins records.
I mean, that man's getting a bag.
Might be the real deal, man. Might be the real deal.
I will say I've spent a lot of my fantasy money to put in a waiver request for him for all of my fantasy teams.
Yeah, if you don't have him right now, that sucks, especially if you got to play against him. Pittsburgh Patriots. Pats were 2-point favor, and it closed at 40.5. Pittsburgh wins by a field goal, 17-14. No,
No,
Adam's
no.
got this wrong again.
I got it backward again. I'm sorry.
Let me
Okay.
just tell you the score.
Yeah, break it down.
Patriots win by a field goal, 17-14.
All right, I'm gonna give the Steelers quick talk on this. I mean, we muffed a punt and they got they got the ball on our 10, and I mean it scored in like 2 plays. If that doesn't happen, I mean Pittsburgh had this game won with a horrible offense. We suck on offense, but it doesn't matter. We still lost, but we were the better team. 100% believe that Sunday. Our defense is still great. They should pull it off. Hopefully Matt Canada's fired, whatever. But when it comes to how many points were scored, I think that might have been like the easiest under for those two teams, like battling it out on a Sunday. Like
I think we need a Garrett Hammonds fires Matt Canada segment every recap show. I don't care if y'all win. I know you're not going to like the guy. You've been calling for his head for 2 years.
Oh. I'd hope until week 1 of last year, and we're still here. So we can move on.
I did take the Patriots and the under in that game. I didn't see a lot of points scored, but I did think the Patriots could score a little more, and they did. It was a hard game to watch. It's not because there's not much dynamic on either side of the ball offensively for those two teams. But Mac Jones didn't look terrible, even though I said I don't think he's the guy.
He didn't look great. He made one over-the-top throw into the end zone, and Nelson Aguilar, of all people, made the best catch of his career, decides to do it on a 1 p.m. Week 3 game against Pittsburgh. We were the better team. We should have won the game.
I do think you all looked better.
Bad things happen. Oh, the Patriots suck. I mean, they're not a good team this year. They're not. So, I don't know. Mistakes cost us a game, but still number 1 in the AFC North. Don't forget that.
I don't want to talk about this one. It's all red. That's how it is. Let's go.
Saints Bucks. Bucks were 2.5 favor, and 44.5 over under. Bucks win 20-10. Can't bet against Tom Brady, and we all chose Brady.
We learned.
That's right.
And the only cool thing about this game, because it was rather boring, was Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore getting into it. So,
yeah,
at least we got some fighting to watch, because that game was miserable to watch for the most part.
And
you guys see where Mike Evans was like, "That's Tom Brady. What do you want me to do?"
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him, but at the same time, like,
he went out early, right? Evans went out early in the game.
He went out in the third. Which I've got him on my fantasy team, and they suspended him for a game, which sucks. But
they have like 4 receivers not playing right now as of yesterday's injury report.
Godwin's out. He's out.
Jones is out.
Julio Jones is out.
Bye, Scotty Miller now.
Scotty Miller is going to be the man. Yes.
The Gage kid, too.
Miller had some highlight moments last year, so he should be a big target.
Listen, if Marshawn Lattimore doesn't go out of that ball game, it's a 6-3 ending.
Yeah,
it was 3-3. It was 3-3 when Marshawn Lattimore got and Mike Evans got ejected, like in the middle of the third quarter.
All right, well, let's move on. Niners, Seahawks. It was 8.5 49ers. Over under was 41. The game ended 27-7. We all took Seattle and the under, but we did not know that Jimmy G was going to save the day.
If Trey Lance does not get hurt, we get an easy cover.
Yes.
And I'd almost want the Seattle money line in that position. I kind of wish I would have taken it if Trey Lance didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy G's the only reason they won that game. Jimmy G's the only reason the 49ers are going to be competitive this year. And
no, I agree.
I wish I could see a little bit more on Trey Lance so I could talk more shit about him, because I'm not a fan of Trey Lance. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. If he stays in that game, plays a little bit more, I think everybody would see it. But now I'm scared about the NFC West because, the Rams are good, but 49ers, they've got their groove back, I feel like now.
Well, they've got plenty of weapons, and I'm with you. It should have been Jimmy's team from the start. And I seen today somebody was saying that the Trevor Lawrence and Trey Lance comparisons need to end because it's just not. There is no comparison there.
Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback.
Yeah, Trey Lance will pan out a lot faster.
He's your next Colt McCoy. He'll be on somebody's roster for the next 10 years, and nobody will care.
He's still on the roster, isn't he?
Yeah, he's with the.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I thought he was a coach. He was at Texas.
He's. Oh man.
We just talked about this the other day. He's somewhere.
I swear he's a coach at Texas.
He's not. He's a backup.
He's on the Cardinals.
Oh, wow. That's impressive that he's still hanging around.
Shout out Colt McCoy. He's made like $27 million over the past like 12 years being a backup. Like, good for him.
Yeah, that's what we was talking about. Like, I wonder how much money, because we were talking about backup quarterbacks and how much money they could secure.
I mean, I don't
looking at your future.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for Trey Lance. I mean, like, the 49ers treat their prized first round draft pick like a fullback. I don't know what they expect. I mean, like, there's a reason that running quarterbacks don't really used to make it at least in the NFL, is because they get injured. Lamar Jackson is a rare case. Nobody can touch Kyler Murray. I saw a really, really funny tweet earlier that said Kyler Murray runs around like a little kid who stole his mom's phone and won't give it back. He just runs around waving his arms.
I think it's because he's short, and yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is.
Like that 2-point conversion was insane.
Yeah. But like Josh Allen is a freak. Not going to happen again. Not going to be the norm. You can't run a quarterback like that and not expect him to get injured. So I feel bad for him, but I don't know what the 49ers were expecting to happen.
I feel good for 49ers fans because they got a chance.
Greatest running quarterback of all time.
I mean,
Jim McMahon.
Well, this past record.
Jim McMahon, yes.
Well, this past record that Lamar Jackson just broke, I think he become like the greatest statistical runner in the NFL as a quarterback.
Yes, he does.
But it's still Michael Vick. I always say Michael Vick, dude. Come on.
I'm glad you said that because Lamar is probably going to break all of those records.
Oh, yeah, if he hasn't already. But still, Michael Vick, former Steeler, won us some games. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Always in my heart.
All right, here's a game I do not want to talk about. What?
I'll give you $1 if anybody can tell me who Jim McMahon was a quarterback for. Super Bowl winning quarterback.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Nice. Don't question Garrett.
The Bears. He had the best defense of all time in '85. He wasn't that great of a quarterback.
No. He was blind in one eye.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's almost legally blind. But yeah.
Cowboys, Bengals. I don't want to talk a lot about it. It's hard to watch my own team. Bengals were a 7.5 point favorite, and the over/under was 41.5, and the Cowboys win by a field goal, 20-17. Fire Cincinnati's O-line coach right now. They can't.
Burrow's running for his life, man.
They couldn't block Adams Middle School's fucking B team. Excuse my language, but
It is bad.
It is. He's been sacked 13 times in 2 games.
Yep.
In the first 2 games of the season, that's got to be a record, right?
The average. So if you average it out, what he's on pace for, so that would be 6.5 games. They play 17, right?
Yeah.
So 6.5 times 17. Joe Burrow's on pace for 110 sacks this year. 110.5 sacks this year.
That's stupid. See, and
which that's not going to happen, but at the same time, like that's bad for your franchise guy that you're wanting to.
Yeah.
You're wanting to keep around for a while, and he's just going to get hurt within the next 5 weeks. I feel like if they don't fix his problem.
Okay. Yeah, and he's already been hurt once because the offensive line couldn't block. You spent this money. Now it's happening again. Like, what's the problem here? Is it the players or is it the O-line coach? I don't scheme. What? I can't tell you.
They're getting ate up. I mean, just strictly looking at what I've seen, like week 1 against Pittsburgh, is that I know for a fact their left guard was getting eat up every play, and like it wasn't an ability issue. Like, well, it was an ability issue. Like, it wasn't like a coaching or scheme thing. Like, he was getting his shit rocked, and I don't know, man. They're just not good right now. I mean, they got the Jets. This could be a bounce back game next week, but
I would hope
they
so.
suck.
Now, to play devil's advocate to that, they did play T.J. Watt and Micah Parsons in the first 2 games.
Well, I was going to bring that up. Two
Yeah, but
amazing
still,
defensive guys.
well, then you're not a Super Bowl caliber team if you give
No.
up 13 sacks through 2 games.
I'm not saying what they're doing. I'm not saying what
arguing
they're
with
doing
you.
is acceptable.
I'm just trying to talk to the delusional Cincinnati fans.
Yes.
After
So
last year.
that's why I want to say, all you Bengals fans who are making excuses and being a bunch of dumbasses, pump the freaking brakes. Because I am reasonable when it comes to my team. Garrett can vouch for me. He's a Steelers fan. We don't like each other when it comes to the NFL. But you all are ridiculous. And it needs to calm down. Because this will work itself out.
We're both realistic about our teams.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and put those rings in the closet and don't ever get them out again. Eagles, Vikings. Eagles were a 2-point favorite. 50.5 over under. Griffith, is this correct? 24-7 Vikings?
Yep. No.
See? I didn't think so. Eagles look like a
4-7 Eagles.
Super
They're
Bowl.
too good, man.
They looked like a Super Bowl contending team yesterday.
There's a ridiculous stat line for betting against Kirk Cousins in primetime that didn't even come across my mind, even though I've known it for like years now. If Kirk Cousins is primetime, he's like 17 or like 1-17 or something against the spread. He
I didn't know that.
He sucks. Don't quote me on the exact number. I just know it's like severely lopsided. He just sucks in primetime. But the Eagles look good, man.
Yeah. You two took Vikings money line.
Well, man, like, you look at their offense. If you would have told me they don't score 7 points, I'd have called you crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Eagles, I mean, their defensive line's not bad, but, I mean, who's your secondary?
But if you think about like a weapon standpoint between week 1 and week 2 of the line scoring 35 on the Eagles with Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown and, DeAndre Swift. Yeah, like that's cool. But at the same time, look at Minnesota's weapons offensively. Kirk Cousins is an adequate quarterback. Justin Jefferson, who's arguably one of the best wide receivers in the league. Dalvin Cook, and you still got Adam Thielen. Like, how do you only score 7 points? How? Because Kirk Cousins sucks. In prime time.
Who's their tight end? Vikings.
Now? Wish you would ask me 3 years ago, because that'd been an easy.
Isn't it Kyle Randolph? It's not Kyle Randolph anymore?
Yeah, and
I don't think he's still there.
No, I don't think he is either. And also, guess who's the top quarterback available in fantasy right now?
Carson Wentz?
Kirk Cousins. And he played like crap,
It's a primetime thing, man, because he'll go out week 3. I don't know who they play. I don't know when they play, but if it's at 1 o'clock on Sunday, he's going to throw for 350, 3 touchdowns, and like have a good day. It's ridiculous.
Irv Smith Jr., is that their starting tight end?
Never heard of him. I'll be real with you. Never heard of him.
He's on the waivers. I was just checking to see what was on here.
They may have a legit starting tight end.
Mm-hmm.
They might, but I'm not sure who it is.
Philly, though, is looking. I think they're easily going to win the NFC East. That rest of that division is horrible.
Yeah, the Eagles should walk through that.
The Giants are frisky. The Giants are frisky. I think the Cowboys can be frisky. Commanders are. It's Carson Wentz. The Eagles are looking like a Super Bowl caliber team right now, and that's crazy to think because I'm not fully sold on Jalen Hurts, but he's looking pretty daggone good.
Yeah. He's a game manager. I think I said that last week when we were picking. He's the same way at Alabama. He doesn't have the greatest arm talent, but if he keeps throwing the ball the way he's throwing it, like that could change the Eagles drastically. They could be a real contending team, I think.
He just looks so composed. Like it's crazy to think because it's hard to believe in an Alabama quarterback. Once they get to the NFL.
Well, he did go to Oklahoma too.
Oh, that is true.
Oh yeah, he
That's what it
finished,
was.
and that was
Dude,
under Lincoln
I
Riley,
like
and
that.
he's the quarterback whisperer, right?
Yeah, I really like Jalen Hurts. I'm happy to see him having success. I don't know, man. I feel like when they for the first 2 3 years in Philadelphia, they didn't really put their whole team into him. Like they would hold him out for wins and loss. You know what I mean? They didn't really. It wasn't like he's our guy. And now that they're kind of getting behind him, man, Philadelphia's going to be. I think he's going to have a career.
Yeah, he is. He's going to stay there. I know they called for his head a year or two ago. Couple games he made some mistakes, but I think he's the right guy for Philly. Honestly.
You want to know? Here's a little taste of ADHD for you. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but you know how we said best running quarterbacks of all time? How did we not say Mike Vick?
We did.
We had a full conversation about it.
I thought you all said Vince Young,
No.
No, Mike Vick.
Steve McNair,
No.
Big Ben on a 3rd and
Yeah,
1.
yeah, bro.
On a third,
He's getting that yard.
he falls 1 yard.
He's
He can get
falling
it.
forward. He's falling forward and killing who's ever in front of him just with his weight. Shout
Peyton
out
Manning
Big
on a naked bootleg.
Ben. Always.
Always.
All right, let's slide this over to our show our percentages for the week. I think it's on the top. And I'll let Adam talk about this. He's the one he's our tech guy who organizes and makes all these.
Is there any way that you could make this like full screen? Like make our thing smaller, make that bigger?
I can maybe prioritize. Focus. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So basically what I did was I took win-loss and spread it down, and I took the odds into account if you were to have bet these. And truthfully, you know, we all kind of came out dead even. Garrett was a little rough, but he didn't. His NFL picks kind of saved him. But so if you were to have put one unit on all these picks, I would have lost a third of a unit at the end of the day. Josh would have came out 2.5 units up. Garrett would be down about 4.5. To kind of put that into perspective for you, if you put $20 on each of these, I'd be down at the end of the day $675. Josh would be up about $50, and Garrett would be down about 86.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But also to put it in frame of reference, if you're putting $20 on 37 picks, that's almost $740. So
Yeah.
if you got that kind of volume moving on a game day, you know, if you're down 10%, that's not awful. But what's kind of interesting is it shows you that total win percentage over there. That shows you the importance of picking a lot of these picks based upon what the odds are. Not necessarily, you can't look at them like they're even money. They're not. So me and Josh, we both came out above 50%. So if you look at that like they're all even bets, I would have won money, but it's not the case. You know, all these spread bets are minus 110, so you're getting back 91% of what you bet. So you know, you pick 25 of those. That's quite a bit of money that you're giving up. But it also depends on what kind of things you bet. So like Josh was 1 for 2 on moneyline picks, but the one moneyline pick he had helped boost him. And even though he's only 4% better than me on the win percentage, it's a difference of, you know, $50. But also Garrett picked 46% of his bets right and came down low on units because he lost 3 moneyline picks.
Yeah.
But we're tinkering with the stats and what the best statistics are to kind of show and talk about and stuff like that, and it'll get more intricate and kind of more direct to the point as this goes on. But kind of where we're at right now. But as far as this week, Blackburn was the winner, money wise and percentage. So
And
Well done.
I won one. I'm actually gonna throw a flag on this. It says I have 1 win on the money line. I had 2. Did I not? No, I didn't. Never mind.
You had Vanderbilt and the Ravens. No.
No, I was looking at that wrong.
What was your other pick?
No, it was the. Never mind. I looked at it wrong. I think because of the way we had the scores wrong earlier when I was thinking about talking. That's why I thought that. But no, you're right. 1 for 2. I lost BYU and Baltimore's. And
Also, a big reason I came out negative is I threw out 6 money line picks. Like that's not smart. I think I kind of just got loose and free with picking the games, and from a gambling standpoint, it's not the way to go about it. Yeah. So basically, I threw away 4 units. The money that I won on the two money line bets don't even equal an extra full unit. So, really betting those. The only way that would have worked out for me is if UTSA would have won, and that was like 4 extra units. So, really, if you're doing mass picks, money line picks aren't the way.
No.
If you're putting 1 pick in, one or 2 picks in, throw a money line pick in there. But
that's why, like we all talk outside of the show, obviously, and we're gonna compress our picks, how many games we're picking, and also discuss what games we like. And I think on Thursday we're gonna throw out our own picks, not just all of us pick one pick. Not all of us picking the same game and making it a competition. We're gonna say, hey, this one is the one that I really like, and I think if I was to drive to Indiana and go to Caesars and place a bet, this is what I'm actually going to put money on, which will make things a little more interesting because we might start making a trip once a week and place some bets just to put more into our thought process of picking these teams, which it won't be a lot of money, but it will be enough to make us think, all right, is this really the team I want to take? Which could make things more interesting.
And a good thing, if you're wanting to, start, if you're thinking about wanting to start to get into sports picking and stuff like that, at least for the first 2 or 3 weeks, track it like we're doing right here, just to prove to yourself that you can make a profit.
Yeah.
That way, if you go 3 or 4 weeks and you break even, and like at the end of the day you're only making like 2% of what you're betting, change your strategy up a little bit, but just tweak with it until you have consistent weeks where you're coming out 10, 20% ahead, and then you can then look at it like an option that you can go ahead, because I think that you can make common sense sports picks and actually profit. This is probably one of the only forms of gambling that I think that if you're smart about it, you can come out profitable consistently. But you gotta track it. You gotta keep stats, and you really gotta change your strategy if need be. Mass picking 37 picks a week just isn't a way to maintain profitability. It is fun because we get to talk about sports and we can kind of debate topics that we like talking about. But if the end all be all is to make money, then we're gonna have to condense our picks down to what our best options are instead of just mass thrown out. Which I would like to continue doing, picking the games like we are, but at the end of the segments, just be like, okay, here's my 6. If you're gonna bet, here's my 6 picks.
Yeah, no, that's the best way to do it. Which we might end up agreeing on a lot of them. We talked about throwing in parlays, but we'll get more into that as the year progresses, and hopefully y'all keep following and watching. I think Adam's got a dog fight going on in his living room right now.
Hey, we were just talking about Michael Vick.
I know, it's ironic that happens.
There's no connection to that whatsoever.
But if you all are following us, watching these videos, like, comment, subscribe, let us know how we're doing. Anything, we'll take advice from anyone as long as you're not being an a-hole. But
everybody follow Garrett on Twitter, Bengals fan 1. You can pretty easy find.
No, you'll probably see a lot of get rid of Matt Canada retweets.
No. Yeah, follow at Bengals fan 1. That's me on Twitter, and I'll just tell you exactly what's wrong with your team. But it's going to be really specific and really biased. It's going to be mostly geographical and the people that live in your city. But yeah.
Well, I'm a
A lot of
big.
personal digs and sarcasm, and really just insults. So
If that's your thing, Bengals fan won.
And I think we are going to. This will come out tonight, but we're also going to release. We're going to do our picks tomorrow because Garrett is going to a music festival, and it'll just be easier on the week. Go ahead and make our picks tomorrow. We'll have another spreadsheet ready and stuff. Thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.